Unless you're Steve Vai playing knapsack, you're probably using both hands to play guitar. Your picking hand and your fretting hand. Just going to take a wild guess. As beginners, our focus is primarily on that fretting hand. As you attain more intermediate and advanced capability, because you've left your fretting hand to solve all these picking problems largely by itself, because of the focus on your fretting hand. So you really have to come back here to see if there's any problems that have arisen from leaving this sort of like to figure out how to do this job by itself. And then B, to actually see if there are problems to refocus there, because you can't actually solve picking problems when you're focusing on your fretting hand. Welcome back to the channel. My name's Chris. Today you will learn about edge picking. What's edge picking all about? It's a very, very simple technique that yields dramatic results. And it's all about refocusing on this picking hand. And this is the first step you want to take, based mostly on scalular playing, like how to make sure that that scalular picking activity is efficient. This is your first stop, this edge picking thing. I'm going to explain what edge picking actually is. And then we're going to zoom in and I'll demonstrate it and show you just how dramatic the results can be. Okay, so first I'll explain it. Edge picking is a simple idea. Let's say this is a string. This is definitely a pick. This is really a pencil, but you know what I'm talking about. We're going to be playing the string with this pick, right? I'm going to rotate our point of view so you can see sort of underneath it all, right? If the pick is perpendicular to the string, you've got the most amount of area to solve the problem of pushing through the tension of the string to actually pick it, right? Edge picking simply states you either ride the forward edge or the trailing edge down, and I'll show you this when we zoom in, and that allows for a much easier pass through, much less resistance against the string because the edge glides straight across, right? And allows the string to ride over that pointed edge much more easily than flat across. That's it. That's simply the technique of edge picking in a nutshell. It's a very easy thing to comprehend. Adopting edge picking is so dramatic that it's actually one of the very first things I do with every student that I see. I ask them to play a scale or something like that, and I laser focus on that right hand to see how much parallel activity they have against the string, because they're really fighting over that resistance, right? They're fighting that resistance, and simply by pushing that edge forward, you can get dramatic results. Let's zoom in and I'll show you how dramatic the results actually are. Okay, let's talk about edge picking. We're going to zoom in just a little bit more, because what we really want to see is this relationship. I'm really just going to be playing a single note on the G string there on the 5th fret. But I really want you to see this relationship of my hand, so we're going to really zoom in here. I usually hold the pick like this, right? So in that case, you're not going to be able to see what's going on very well. So I'm going to do something crazy, which is hold the pick like this. I don't advise this. I would never do that, but it's going to allow you to see what angle the pick is at. So here's our G string. We're playing the 5th fret here. I'm just going to play what's called tremolo, playing that same note over and over and over again using just the pick. So again, I'm holding it in this weird fashion. Now this is going to be very embarrassing and horrible, but check it out. I'm going to be playing right across the string with as much sort of pick surface on the string as possible. Even if I use the pick the way I usually do, I grip it the way I usually do, with this perpendicular attack, it's the same thing. And trust me, I'm not trying to make this sound terrible. It just is. So, exaggerated, right? This is basically almost an impossible physics problem to solve, especially if the pick is deep under the string. Watch what happens when I just start angling the pick. I'm going to do this dynamically, and just watch what happens to the results I'm getting. as I angle that pick, the resistance is much less, because now it's just the edge of the pick that the string has to glide over to get through that point, and it's just much easier to do at an angle. So as you can see, when I angle the pick forward, I get really great results. Now that's about as fast as I want to pick. I could probably get faster if I wanted to, but I don't ever use that kind of speed. You can see my angle is about, oh, I'd say maybe 30 degrees. If I flatten the pick out, it just starts to become impossible. Now, you can use the forward edge of the pick, this leading edge, the edge that's pointing towards the neck, you can put that down, which is what I usually do. You can also use the trailing edge of the pick to get the same results. This is the picking position that Neil Schon uses. And I use both, but this one basically has a bit more comfort on the wrist. If you see this trailing edge, when you put the trailing edge of the pick back, your wrist does this, and it's a little less flexible and less comfortable than this. Get more of a straight angle through, even when you're angled down quite a bit. You can use your thumb to angle it down, whereas here, to get the back edge, you really have to twist your wrist back. It's not as easy to do with just your thumb. And as you can see, that forward edge, that leading edge forward, you can just use your thumb. So again, parallel, forward edge down, much more efficient energy transfer, much less resistance when you simply angle that pick edge forward. Okay, so that's edge picking. Very, very simple. We're either angling that forward edge, that leading edge down, or the trailing edge down. And you saw that angling the forward edge down allows for a bit more natural wrist movement than this. This binds you up a little bit. Leading edge picking, much more flexible, a little easier on the wrist. Okay, I've put together some more information, sort of a deeper dive on edge picking. That's on my Patreon page. Head on over there if you'd like to see that, dive in a little bit deeper. And of course, if you really want to go deep, head over to Troy Grady's page. He's like the premier scientist, really, about picking, all things picking. Really fantastic. If you do head over to Patreon and decide to support the channel there, I really do thank you in advance. Okay, check out your picking hand. Just look at it. Play some scales. Get your fretting hand on autopilot. Play some scales. And check this out. Look at it. Are you hitting the string parallel? If you are, start to experiment with that edge, with that moving that leading edge down and forward, and see if that doesn't get you dramatic results pretty much right away. I hope you enjoy this, and I'll see you next time.